I was a pretty aggressive and angry kid. In 5th grade, I got kicked out of public school because of my aggression. My mom raised me, absent dad. In that time, I was acting out, and I was being sent to these behavior modification schools. My sister, who was a Christian, she was going off to be a counselor at this camp called Camp Josiah. And so my mom was like, please take him with you for the summer. You know, get him out of this house. Because it's just hard to deal with an aggressive kid like me at home with no male figure around to discipline. So I went off to this camp, and that, for the first time in my life, was when I actually got to hear the gospel. I was around a bunch of men who were counselors at this camp, and they got to invest in me that whole summer. They got to become my friends. They got to tell me about who Jesus was. And I remember vividly one night, I went out to sit on this dock with a guy, his name was Josh, and he was really challenging me with spiritual questions. And he said, Andy, what do you believe? What do you ultimately trust in? You know, and it really got me thinking. And I remember specifically him telling me about who Jesus was, about how Jesus had come and died for my sin, and that he had purchased me. And he said, what keeps you from accepting Jesus and following him? And I remember vividly at that point, you know, just saying, I want Jesus. I want to know him. And he said, do it now. There's nothing keeping you from speaking to him. Cry out to him, talk to him. So I remember sitting on that dock that summer night and just crying out to God and just asking God to clean me, for him to change me. And it was pouring out of me. I left from that camp and I came home, and I knew that God had done something in my heart, because I didn't feel the same towards people that I once hated. The teachers were coming back to my mom. Andy has ended up becoming our, like role model student. He's so well behaved, and he's a natural leader, all these things. And it was just kind of mind-blowing to see that the transformation that had happened that summer had affected everything about who I was. Me and my best friend growing up, we used to buy the CD singles. So we would break dance to that, and we would get tired. We'd lay out on the cardboard, and the instrumentals from the CDs would come on, and we would just start writing to them. Friends that I made in high school, we formed a group together. I had taken some of my birthday money and bought a couple pieces of recording equipment to put into my room back home. We went and started making music right in my house. Throughout high school, we're recording music, we're doing shows, you know, we're traveling a little bit. Yeah, my spiritual life was really starting to suffer because I wasn't around anybody who was a Christian. So I kind of just rode my spiritual high into the ground throughout those 4 years of high school. You know, promiscuity, attention, glory seeking in my own music, you know, just living a life that was absolutely consumed with, you know, me being the center of my life. My pleasure, my pursuits. Life essentially became about me exclusively, and when life is about you exclusively and you're in the center of it, it's so small. And so TRUCE, it stood for To Reach Urban Communities Everywhere, and it was a group that used performing arts for the purpose of evangelism. I remember walking into these rooms and looking around and seeing, you know, 20 kids my age, 16, 17, 18, all the way up to like 23, 24. I'm looking around, they're all dressed fly, they all love Jesus, and they're all creatives. They're either actors, or they're rappers, or they're singers, or they're producers. And I'm like, what did I just get dropped into? You know what I'm saying? This is unreal. I ended up starting to go to these rehearsals every Saturday for TRUCE, and we would go over devotionals every Saturday together and open up the Bible and talk about what it meant to be a Christian and to be young. That really started to change me. It had an effect on me. I really started growing, like exponentially, because I had accountability. I had brothers and sisters pouring into me. I had mentors. I had male figures in my life. And man, I thank God so much for allowing me to experience that. It's forever changed the course of my life, because I finally got to see what it looked like to be young and to love Jesus and to be faithful to him with the gifts that he's given me.
I am such a fan of Andy Mineo, and just not only his testimony, it's amazing, but his music. And I love the fact that this story highlights what he was talking about, like to see other young individuals. He said, you know, they were dressed fly and they loved Jesus, but they were also like creatives. They were artists. They were musicians, because he had never seen that before. And I think that that's something that I don't like sometimes, that people think you got to wait till you're older to follow Jesus, and that's not the case at all. Like, you can start now and love Jesus and still be cool, and Andy Mineo is definitely the picture of that.
Yeah, I've seen him at Winter Jam a couple times, and it was interesting too. Early in his journey, someone asked him, "Who do you trust, or what do you trust in?" And you know, for someone to pose that question, and you have to answer, "Who do I trust in? What do I trust?" also leads you to ask, how do I cope with things? What's my coping mechanism? And then also, you know, where do I find satisfaction? These questions are tough, but they start to reveal things about ourselves. What gives me satisfaction in life? And are those things really ultimately going to be fulfilling?
Yeah, and I think something else that we can pull from his testimony is the importance of being surrounded by like-minded individuals.
Sure.
You know, here he was, he surrendered his life to Christ, and then he kind of walked away because he wasn't necessarily surrounded by individuals who could help him, like disciple him and, you know, bring him to church and that sort of thing. And so it's so important to surround yourself with like-minded individuals. If you say you're a Christian, you know, walk with other Christians. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to have friends who might be unbelievers, but if you want to grow deeper in your relationship with Jesus, you definitely need a faith-filled community surrounding you.
At any age.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Any age.
And I think part of the challenge for adults is we start to, you know, a lot of times as people get older, the friendship circle kind of shrinks. We lose touch with people. And then even adults can start to feel a little isolated. So at every age, it's important to surround yourselves with good people. And then, of course, I've got 2 teenage sons, and I'm seeing what it's like for them to grow up now. And it's very important to surround yourselves with good people. You're absolutely right. And he's still making a difference out there. I mean, he's a tremendous songwriter.
Oh, my gosh. His songs, if you guys haven't listened to his songs, go to Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Google his name. Really good music. And he's just a solid guy. He's a solid believer, loves the Lord. He's married now. So I think new music is coming out for him soon. At least that's what I'm hoping. So we'll see.
Have you ever been to Winter Jam, the concert series?
I think I have.
Oh,
I think a long time ago. I don't know if I was. Anyways, I think so, but I can't really remember.
Okay, well, that's all right.
Well, when's the next one?
Just passed. So next
okay,
winter.
you got to go to the next one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. You got to meet up with Andy if he's there.
If he's available, yeah.
Andy and Andy.
Yeah, oh, isn't that cute? That's
I love it. Hey everyone, I'm Ashley Key. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so we can reach more people with encouraging content like you just watched, and so you never miss a beat. See you next time, and God bless.